venue. So we marched with them, shouted slogans, and afterwards he joined us in our rally. Probably as a scholar. Outside he was the activist, then he became the scholar, and joined us at that convention, at that conference. The other thing I'd like to share was what Dave himself shared with me one time. I think it was back in 89 or 90, at dinner in Sulu Hotel, staying there then. And one of the questions I asked him was, how did he end up in Canada when he was a American and had been teaching? He was at University of Missouri. And that was already rising in the ranks as a professor. Well, he told me this was the time of the Vietnam War. This was the time when students, young Americans, were trying to escape the draft. And one of the ways that a student, a college student, could escape the draft is if he or she got good grades in college. So they only send the dumb ones to fight in Vietnam. If you get good grades, then you will be exempted from the draft. So a lot of students his students went to him and tried to find ways by which they could avoid the draft. Short of moving to Canada, what they really wanted was to get high grades. And David said he has to set aside his academic whatever standards and started giving students really high grades so they would be exempted from the draft. So I guess he was first and foremost an activist and only secondly a scholar. So that was what he did. He was giving students very high grades, A's, even if they deserved the C. So many of the students got exempted from the draft because of what he did. But somehow the university caught up with what he was doing. And so because of this, I don't know exactly what happened, whether he was forced to resign or he was fired, but he had to leave the university. But then word got around in all the other universities in the US, so he could no longer teach in any American university. And he told me that's when he decided to move to Canada. Or at least this one version of why he moved to Canada and became a Canadian citizen eventually. So that says a lot about his character as a human being, as a person concerned, and also as an activist fighting for what is right. Standing by his needs. The other anecdote he told me also, which I could not forget, was his wife was Japanese Catholic, so he was very much acquainted with Japanese culture and society. He said that during the 1960s, Japan was just starting to be manufacturing goods, exporting items, and at that time, especially for Filipinos, anything that was made in Japan was considered to be of low quality. So what was considered marketable would be products that had the label made in USA. If it were made in Japan, we would automatically reject this as being of really poor quality, because Japan had not yet attained at that time standards of quality they became eventually known for. So according to David, there was this town in Japan that was called USA. So they started labeling all their products made in USA. And what could be read as made in USA. So this town was able to market its products very well. And sold a lot because of the misimpression that their products were made in USA. The last time David was here, as many of you pointed out, was when he came to do the keynote address at the Geoscience Association conference just this year, in April, we were all there. and we were treated a really magnificent display of scholarly talent, expertise. What he actually did was to trace his life, his life as a scholar, an academic, an activist, all related to Philippine studies. And I think that keynote speech is going to appear, or is part of the issue of Philippine Political Science Journal that just came out a few days ago. So that's really a must read for everyone. Arigato.
Thank you. And if there are no more thoughts to be said about David, then I guess let me leave you with a kind of challenge, especially to our young members of the audience, a challenge. And we hope that the life of David can also be inspiration to you. In the way that his life has touched the lives of more senior, myself included, more senior people. With that, we end the formal part of the program and we begin, I think, to have the informal part, which is a little merienda at the back. Thank you very much for coming.